Hey there, Waffle Crew. I hope you're doing great. I'm Mark, and today we're diving into some wild relationship tales, specifically down the entitled people path. If you enjoy a good Reddit yarn, consider smashing that like button, subscribing, or ringing the notification bell. It really helps out a ton. Before we jump into today's tale, let me warn you. It's a wild ride. Unlike anything I've come across since the early days of the channel when we tackled entitled parents and similar stories. It's one long, jaw-dropping saga, so buckle up. I've heard this one's been covered by others, and some of you might have sent it my way before. If you've heard it already, I apologize, but it's new to me, so let's dive in. This story comes from Acer1, or maybe Acker1, spelled A-C-C-E-R-1, titled, Entitled Aunt Insists Adult Child Must Obey Her Because It's the Law. It's about my cousin, and I was there for most of it. I recall it vividly for a couple of reasons. I've got a sharp memory, it was the first trip after my dad passed away, and it was the last one I took with my mom, who passed less than a year later. My aunt always acted like the family's problem solver, but she'd volunteer my cousin to do the actual work, for free. If anyone offered payment, my aunt pocketed it. Need a babysitter, a lift, or a house cleaned? To her, my cousin Emily existed solely to serve her whims. Emily was her prize, and my aunt was entitled long before it was a trend. Here's the cast. EA, entitled aunt. Emily, my cousin. Mike, Emily's boyfriend. Me, Asa, PO1, police officer 1, PO2, police officer 2, and Judge, Mr. Judge. My aunt's always been entitled. It's just who she is. My mom, her older sister, couldn't stand her, so we kept our distance while staying in touch with her husband and daughter. My uncle lived further south, so we timed visits to avoid EA. On this trip, I was staying with Emily for a couple of weeks in the summer for some fun. EA saw Emily's university break as a chance to treat her like free labor. One day, Emily had enough. EA demanded she run errands for a friend, ignoring Emily's plans. Emily refused to comply. My mom and I arrived just before EA called, screaming so loud over the landline that we could hear every word. "How dare you humiliate me in front of my friends?" EA shouted. "Call Mrs. No Name and apologize now. You're grounded for a month and you're not touching the car. Go do those errands." How Emily was supposed to do this without a car, I'd love to know. Emily shot back, "Mom, I'm 22. I don't live with you, you don't pay my bills, and that's my car. Do your own errands. I've got plans." My mom, being a mom and knowing her sister, was uneasy leaving us but did so after meeting Mike. We headed to a water park and had a blast. When we returned, Emily's car was gone. She called EA, who admitted, "Yes, I took it. Your dad drove me to check if you'd obeyed. You weren't there, so I'm keeping it for a month and letting Mrs. No Name use it since you've been awful to her." Emily replied, "That's theft. Return my car or I'll report it stolen. Mrs. No Name can't drive it." EA snapped, "I'm your mother. You do as I say. You own nothing. It's mine because I'm your mom. The police will laugh at you for wasting their time." Emily, furious and in tears, looked at me. I told her I'd handle any fallout if she called the cops. She reported the car stolen, giving its location. Mike drove us to EA's place to watch the drama unfold. A police officer knocked on EA's door. She answered, looking smug, and said, "Hello, officers. Need something?" PO1 replied, "The car in your driveway matches a stolen vehicle report." EA said, "It's mine. I took it from my daughter because she's grounded for disrespect." PO2 asked to speak with Emily, who EA claimed didn't live there. Noticing us across the street, PO1 called us over. Emily confirmed she'd reported the theft, saying, "It's my car. My mom thinks she controls it and me." EA insisted, "It's my car. I'm her mother. She has to obey me. It's the law. Tell her." PO2 clarified, "No such law exists. She's an adult." EA threatened to report them to their chief and sue. PO1 asked for Emily's registration and license, which showed the car was solely hers. EA, enraged, snatched Emily's license, slammed the door, and returned with it cut into pieces, saying, "Now she can't drive without a license." She then noticed me, demanding, "What are you doing here?" "Where's your mom?" I replied, "I don't need your permission to visit." "My mom's not here." PO1 arrested EA for destroying government property, a felony in some places, and grand theft auto. She protested, "You can't arrest me. I'm her mother." PO2 read her rights and explained that cutting the license escalated the issue from a ticket to a felony. Emily informed her dad, who called EA's attorney. I drove Emily's car back, and we replaced her license the next day. At the hearing, EA's attorney tried to dismiss it as a family matter, claiming Emily was a minor disciplined by her mom. The judge, learning Emily was 22 and the sole owner, corrected him. EA insisted, "I'm her mother. Her property is mine by law." The judge, exasperated, explained Emily was a legal adult with full rights. EA doubled down, claiming the judge was wrong. The case was set for trial, but EA took a plea: 2 years probation and parenting classes. Hilarious, since Emily was an only child. Emily and Mike later married and moved far away. This was 30 years ago, and EA maintained until her death that the judges, 5 across hearings, were clueless. Now, on to another tale. Crazy aunt tries to have me arrested for murder, victim protests. This happened 30 years ago, in a world of corded phones, no caller ID, and smoking everywhere, hospitals included. Mental health and police procedures were different then. I'm renaming entitled aunt to CA, Crazy Aunt, for clarity, as many got confused. After CA's arrest for stealing Emily's car and destroying her license, she posted a $500 bond. The next day, hell broke loose. Emily and I went to replace her license, then hit a museum. At a kiosk, a police officer approached, asking for my ID, claiming I was a runaway involved in drug trafficking. I laughed, handed over my license, and said, "I'm 21, not a runaway, and not into drugs." Was this tip from my crazy aunt? The officer couldn't confirm but apologized after verifying my ID. I mentioned CA's arrest, suggesting they check her record. Back at Emily's, her answering machine had 30 messages, many from my brother, whom CA had told I was arrested for drug trafficking. I reassured him, explaining CA's antics. Later, at a concert, I felt watched. Emily spotted CA staring at us, so we left early. An hour later, police banged on Emily's door, tipped off that it was a drug house. CA appeared, claiming Emily's home was hers too. Emily clarified it wasn't, and I accused CA of another false report. The officers, without a warrant, left, but warned CA to stop. I pressed charges for harassment, and CA was arrested again, posting $1,000 bond. To escape her, my mom booked us a hotel under her maiden name. 4 days later, police, 2 uniformed, 2 detectives, showed up asking for Emily. CA had reported I'd murdered her. I laughed, saying Emily was showering. Emily emerged alive, and we explained California's history. The detectives confirmed they wouldn't reveal our location but couldn't prove California's malicious intent. They left, advising us to enjoy our visit. Finally, why did CA hate me? She saw me as everything she wanted to be but wasn't. Tall, thin, blonde, brilliant. Born in the 1930s, she expected success without effort, believing she deserved top marks without studying. She was short, dark-haired, and average, lacking ambition. Her entitlement grew despite no one indulging her. She hated my brothers too, but less so. Emily, her daughter, was her trophy until I, the first girl born after her, stole her spotlight by surviving a premature birth with pneumonia. CA's resentment peaked when my family focused on my survival instead of Emily's first birthday. She even told my dad to let me die, claiming I'd be a burden. My family cut contact, and CA's attempts to control or harm me, through false reports or otherwise, stemmed from her warped view of her own superiority.